Hello everyone, this is Rahul from Ingram Micro. Today's event is about cloud backup using Acronis and Azure. We have Akhil Sirasau, who is the Acronis product expert. He's going to take a first few minutes on briefing all of you on what is Acronis and what is the backup solution provided by Acronis. Post that, I'm going to talk about the solution which we want to present today is about the total combined Acronis and Azure's solution for going and approaching your customers on cloud backup itself. How it works, what is the solution components, what is the pricing, how to position the pricing, and what profitability you're going to look at. So that is all we are going to talk about today in the later part of the session. So let me hand over the session to Akhil, who is going to talk and introduce all of you who do not know or are not familiar with Acronis as a backup solution. It is an enterprise-grade backup solution software spanning from desktop, laptop, all the way to servers, physical and virtual. Please feel free to ask questions in between, and if you cannot hear or if you're not able to see the screen, just flag it to us and we will look into it. Otherwise, feel free to ask questions in between whenever you feel like, and we'll try to answer them right there. Otherwise, we have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. This webinar will be focusing on Acronis and Azure, which means if you are not a partner of Microsoft as of today, we will encourage you to look into considering becoming a Microsoft partner. And if you're not an Acronis partner today, then we encourage you to become an Acronis partner so that we can enable you to sell the whole solution. We have technical experts, two experts sitting here. One is Abdul Salim, who is our cloud technology expert, as well as Akhil, who's going to talk about Acronis, and myself, Rahul, who is going to talk about the solution and pricing and the approach in the later part of the session. So handing over to Akhil, who will talk about the Acronis from now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akhil. Yeah. I hope you can hear me properly. All right, so I'm here to present you, I'll give you some detailed information about Acronis product, the backup product, how it works, and how we can go with Azure hand in hand. All right, so we'll start with the presentation. All right, so Acronis it started the company in 2001. We have more than 100 plus patents, and the company has 800 employees. We have 30,000 strong partners, and we have product in 15 languages. We are market leaders in Germany and Japan. If we go about the Middle East, we have oil and gas, we have Shell, and then we have Qatar Petroleum, Saudi Aramco. These are the government. If we go about government, we have RTA, Sultanate of Oman. These are our clients, and we are dealing with them. Private sector, we have KPMG and ABB and American Express. These are our private sector clients. If we go about Africa, we have BMW, Ford, Eskom, Eurocare, Daimler Chrysler. These are our clients in Africa. All right, let's talk about the product overview. All right, so generally what happens is, as Acronis is a backup application, what it does, it performs the backup of your environment, your critical application, your files and folders, and store it on a different location. It can be a tape drive for a longer period of time. It can be local disk, or it can be a cloud, wherever you want, as per your requirement. Now, Acronis works on Acronis AnyData Engine. What is it? The AnyData Engine is the most innovative data engine, which is redesigned in order to work with any backup any application which is in the environment. Now, generally, the AnyData Engine, if you go, let's talk about the data engine, and I'll talk about the challenges as well. So if you talk about the IT admin challenges, every day-to-day work activity, if an IT admin has lots of activity to do, And most of them is in order to perform the backup or keep your data secure. Now, in order to do that, you need to make sure that he can back up workstation, he can back up physical server, he can back up all the virtual machine. Apart from that, he can also back up the applications like Active Directory, file servers, email databases. Along with that, he can back up to disk partition, and he can back up the data to the cloud as well. So these are his daily requirement and daily challenges which he needs to fulfill. Now, if we go about how he can do that, how he can achieve that, right? He can achieve by the Acronis Any Data Engine. Now, this Any Data Engine can perform all these tasks which are mentioned on the screen. It can back up any OS environment, Windows, Linux. It can back up any file system, regardless NTFS, REFS, XFS, FAT62, 32. It can back up that. It can go for any virtual environment. If you have VMware, you can back up to VMware. You can back up Red Hat Enterprise Red Hat Linux environment, Hyper-V. You can go for Oracle VM. You can go for Zen Server as well. We can do any migration, P2V, P2V, V2V, P2V, and P2P as well, while taking the backup of the application as well. We support applications like Microsoft Exchange, Microsoft SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, all with the granular recovery technology, which allows you to restore individual items along with the entire application with the disaster recovery. Now, storage location, we can back up to cloud, we can back up to disk, we can perform deduplication, we can back up to tape drive, we can back up to any storage present in the environment. We can back up to remote offices as well. Now, the best feature about Acronis protection is that it has a bare metal restore. Regardless of your hardware, we will be able to restore the data. If you change your hardware from Dell to HP, HP to Lenovo, we will be able to restore the data. So regardless of hardware, the restore works. Now, how the Acronis backup works, we'll see. So what we can do, we can back up disk and partition, we can back up virtual machines, we can back up files and folders, we can back up applications like Microsoft Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, we can back up Active Directory. How? We can use Acronis backup application. Now what it does instant recovery and migration. You can perform the backup simultaneously. You can move the machine to a different location, or you can convert the machine from physical to virtual, virtual to physical, or physical to physical. It has enhanced catalog search, which will allow you to search the data which is longer than a year or two. You can search instantly that data and restore that data, recover that data immediately. It has a monitoring and reporting tool, which is allow you to centralize, monitor all the applications, all the servers on a single console. It has a wonderful reporting tool, which is allowed generally for the auditing purposes. It can give you in detail information about each backup and each storage device. It can give you detailed information about that. Automated retention and staging. What it does, it allows you to automatically retain the data on the disk. It deletes the data which is older and already expired, and also keeps the data stored if the data is required for a disaster recovery purpose. Deduplication, it has a source and target deduplication. The data can be deduplicated from the source while coming to the backup server from the client, as well as we can dedupe the data once the data is stored on the storage later on. So there are two types of deduplication which can be performed and which can achieve which can store a huge amount of data. Compression is the best feature in this. It can compress the data up to 90-95%. So on the files and folder specifically. Now, how we work with Acronis and Azure hand in hand. So we have a Acronis management console, and we will install the agents onto your environment, into the client's environment, on the applications in the server you want to backup, and those server will directly send the data to the Azure cloud. You can back up the data to the local devices as well, if you want, to the NAS or to tape drive as well as you can back up the data to the cloud as per your requirement. You can replicate the data as well as you can send the data directly to the cloud, or you can replicate the data. You can send the data to the local device first, and then you can replicate the data to the Microsoft Azure. Any questions regarding the product? All right, I'll hand over to Rahul.
Hi everyone. So if you guys have any questions about Acronis, please feel free to ask. We are going to jump into the solution, which is a combination of Azure and Acronis. So there's a question. Can we do initial seeding? Yes, answer is yes. You can do initial seeding depending on which location you want to store. So if it is going to be on Azure, then you need to be particular about it, that how much data is going there. But otherwise, if you are choosing your own location, then we do not have any problems in that. We can work on the initial seeding depending on the amount of data. But answer is yes. All right, so what I'm going to do is switch to the solution presentation slides. There's one more question. So the question is, what is the value of Acronis if you're using Azure for storage? Azure is being used as a storage for storing the data on the cloud, whereas the whole purpose of or the real value of Acronis is the intelligence of the software, which really puts everything on the cloud, whether it is desktop or server. So it's a combined solution where the target storage is Azure, whereas the backup software or the solution is from Acronis. So Acronis plays a very, very important role to take the data from your machines or your environment to the cloud, which is in this solution discussion we are talking about Azure. It can be Acronis cloud. It can be any cloud, for instance. It can be your own data centers or storage. So for this campaign, we are really talking about Azure as a destination storage. All right. My audio is lost. Connecting. Hmm? No. You can jump in saying we are facing technical difficulties. That is a US dial number. Sorry guys for the technical problem. I lost the connection for a moment. I hope you can hear me now. Please confirm. Okay, you're able to hear. All right, so I did not run any slides during this missing period, so I'm just going to start it now. I hope you see my screen. So let's get into what we want to really talk about the solution today to all our channel partners. So what's the opportunity? We really want to talk about the opportunity a little bit, where what we want you to see in terms of the opportunity. The opportunity is growing data, right? So there's a lot of growing data, and a bulk of that growing data is actually sitting with the users, right? So of course, servers are generating data, applications are generating data, but then a lot of organic unstructured data is growing with the users within the organization. There are a lot many growing devices are happening, which means today an average user has more than 2 devices, which is one is his laptop, one is mobile, one is, it could be his tablet, or more than one machine which he use normally. The next problem which IT is running into is, or customers, IT departments are running into, is a decentralized data with users, which means today with growing connectivity and a lot more modern way of working is generating a lot of data and in decentralized mode. No more users are no more connected to LAN networks. They are all connected through internet, right? Which means the control over data on these users are going less and less every day. And data is residing on multiple locations. So it's not one place where data is sitting, it is sitting in multiple locations. So these are all good indicators that we should go and talk about our cloud-based backup solution, because this is the modern era and you need a modern technology and solution for handling these kind of situation. Gone are those days where you would install a backup software which will only work on the company issued desktop machines, and it will actually take care of the user's data backup only when he's connected to the LAN, and it will only run the schedule backup whenever it is wanting. Now the situation is different. People are connected most of the time, not in office, but through internet, some or the other means. They are connected using multiple devices. They're generating data on all the devices. So we need a solution which can tackle that, and Acronis is the right technology solution where it can handle all these things in a much more efficient way on the cloud. So this is the opportunity which we see, and this is where we think you all have a big opportunity to play in and start making money out of it. So what is the another set of opportunity which we want you to see?
Hello everyone, the sound will be back, just wait.
Are you able to hear the sound now? Okay. Thank you for the confirmation. So we want you to start looking at a little bit more size of the opportunity is the on-premise backup solution deployment is expensive for the clients, especially to cover the desktops and laptops and the new growing environment. It is cumbersome to deploy also, so we are really trying to bring in the cloud backup concept, and this is what are the opportunities for looking at cloud backup. Different solutions for servers and desktops. There's also a point where this is where Acronis really excels. By a single solution, it can cover both the environments in the single solution. Customers are already comfortable with cloud-based backup, and this is something very, very important to understand. The clients today are very comfortable because on a personal note, they are used to Dropbox, they are used to OneDrive, they are used to Google Drive, where the data is actually going and sitting on the cloud on their personal photos and everything. So from a comfort zone point of view, the end customers, the users are eventually ready from a cloud backup point of view. Just that from an official point of view, you need to just push it. Subscription model or pay-as-you-go model is also very easy to sell, and most of you who are into reselling cloud solutions are experiencing that subscription is easy to sell than an on-premise one-time solution. So that's the whole set of opportunities which we want you to look at. Voice is not clear. Just give me a moment. How about now? Is the voice better? Okay, thank you. Sorry for the trouble today. All right, so what we are trying to say is let's combine Acronis backup software, which is a cloud service, along with Azure as a storage, and we provide solution as a complete end-to-end cloud-based solution to the customers. So let's get into a little bit details. We have already spoken on the technical aspect. We are more than happy to provide all the technical pre-sales help for you to go and position the solution to your customer from a cloud backup point of view. But then this is how, in general, the same thing works. So all your workloads which you want to back up, desktop, laptop, physical, virtual servers on your local customer's network, the Acronis agents will be going in, and these agents will be controlled using the Acronis cloud-based management console, and that is in your control and the customer's admin control. Once that is configured with your backup policies, the data will be backed up on Microsoft Azure. So that's as simple as the solution, the way it works. Now, we really want to jump into, from a selling point of view, how do you position it and what is the pricing structure looks like. So we're going to look at two different things. We're going to look at the Acronis prices as well as Azure prices separately. And please note that this is a subscription model, which means it's all priced per GB per month, and these are monthly models. So the way it is going to be positioned, we are going to talk that through, and we'll walk you through how you will see and how you should position it to your customers. We are really making it simple for you to understand. So from an Acronis backup cloud, which is the service, it's a third party or a service provider edition. We have 4 tiers. The first tier starts from 4 terabyte to 22 terabytes. The price is per GB 0.06, which is 6 cents per GB per month. Now, what does this mean? This means all the agents in the software comes at no cost. All the customer pays is the price per GB, which the data he wants to back up. So it's a completely different model. So there is no agent price, there is no software price separately. It's all boiling down to how much data the customer is going to back up on any destination. So the cost of destination is separate, and that is where Azure comes in. But cost of the software for backing up is priced per GB of the data. So if you have a customer who has 100 desktops, who has 10 servers, but entire data is just 1 terabyte, he's going to look at 1 terabyte into 0.06 GB dollars per GB. So it'll work out to somewhere around $100 a month. So we have 4 tiers: 4 terabyte to 22 terabytes, 22 to 50 terabytes, 50 to 114, and then 114 plus. The price reduces as you go up. This does not mean that this is per customer. This is the pricing slab per partner. So if you are a partner, this is for you. You are free to decide, slice this entire storage to one or multiple customers, which means in the 4 terabytes of storage, you can give this 4 terabyte to 40 customers, 100 each, 100 GB each, or one customer with 4 terabytes. It's your choice, but your total billing will be looked as a slab, which means you are naturally going to increase the storage consumption as single partner the more customers you add onto the backup solution. Now let me make some clarifications here on the minimum commitment. This is basically the minimum commitment you give for getting started with this. So it's about $250, and for that you get to back up 4 terabytes, and this $250 is per month. However, all those partners who are starting fresh first time, there is a 90 days ramp up period, which means in the first 90 days the partner will be billed on actuals and then will fall into a minimum tier commitment. What does this mean? So you have 90 days to really sell up to 4 terabytes, but if you fail to sell up to 4 terabytes in the first 90 days, you will be billed on actuals, which means if you're consuming only 1 terabyte of storage, no problem, you will be billed only 1 terabyte, but then you will basically move into a minimum tier on the 4th month onwards, and then after 4 terabytes up to 22, it will be billed on actuals with an increment of 1 GB, and that report will be sent to you on a monthly basis along with your invoice. Once you reach a point of 22 terabytes, or before that you want to say, you know what, I've already reached 18 terabytes, I want to go ahead and hit this slab of $1,000 per month, give me 22 billing commitment, 22 terabytes, and we will go ahead and do that for you. So this is the pricing. This is the only pricing you need to worry when it comes to Acronis. Very simple pricing, very easy to calculate, very easy to manipulate, and then sell it as a solution to your customers. No pricing required for any agents or anything. Just calculate, look for the total data which you want to back up, and you will be able to do it. Again, to reconfirm, this is a storage combined capacity per partner, which means you as one partner can sell the storage capacity to multiple customers, right? So the more customers you add, the more backup you take, it will consume from the same slab, okay? So any questions on this, feel free, because it's a new model. Please feel free to ask any questions on this. So the next is the storage pricing. So we looked at the pricing for the software which will do the backup. Now where you want to store is the price for Azure. Azure is, again, we are talking about, so there's a question, how we will separate one customer to another. So the question, I'm trying to understand what it means, how we will separate one customer to another. So what I understand from your question is, how will you slice these 4 terabytes or whatever capacity to one or more customers? Is that the question, please? All right, so the answer is very simple. When you sign up as a Acronis partner with us, we will give you a console where you will see your total combined storage capacity on the screen. You can attach Azure storage on that screen, and then you start creating customers. When you start creating customers, you start adding workloads on that, servers, desktop, and these things. And and your customer will be able to manage their own data. You will be able to manage their data as well. So, Akhil, do you have access to the portal? We will arrange one more session, follow-up session in next few days to give you a live demo, but then this is how it works. So it's a single console where you will see all your customers. A detailed report will be, a detailed insight will be available for which customer is using how much storage. You can allocate as much as you want from that console, and you have 100% visibility and control also. So in this business model, if your customer comes back to you and says, hey, why don't you help me monitoring my backup and restore also? You can do it on behalf of your customer. So it's very easy. It is all through online portal. When you sign up as a partner, you will get a console where you can see your customers. So going back to Azure, so Azure prices are monthly. This is not the one which, if you guys are used to the Azure Open under Microsoft Open program, this is a CSP model where it is all monthly based. Again, there is no minimum commitment on Azure. It is per GB price. It is 2.4 cents or 0.024 cents per GB up to 100 terabytes. So I think most of all of us will fall into the first 100 terabyte slab. So this is the price which you can consider. As a Microsoft partner, if you are a registered Microsoft partner, you get 7% discount on top of this price as a partner discount, which you will see. So that is the calculation we are looking at. So how do we position? So we have understood the prices of Acronis. We have understood the prices of Azure. Now we want to tell you how do you go and sell it, right? So you know that it is $250 as a commitment and 2.4 cents for Azure. There's a question, can we get monthly automatic reports on usage based on customers on email? Also, there is any warning mail initiated in case the user is exceeding the space? Absolutely, yes. This entire detail is available through the console. You can configure email alerts and reports are all available through the Acronis console. It's a very sophisticated system. Very nice. It gives you entire control and details. So it's a very controlled environment. So customer cannot go and do anything what he wants. It's full control with the resellers. So back to the positioning statement. So we want you to take this solution and go to your prospects or your existing customers. The best place to go is to go to existing clients. All of you have existing relationship with 50, 100, 200, 500 customers. Go back, make a quick inventory of what customer is using. Our suggestion is go first and approach and open the dialog of desktop and laptop backup. Now, it may be very small to start with, but then that's the first place you can hit a big volume in terms of data and then easily upsell to servers backup, because the same solution, once you deploy, once the IT administrator or system admin get used to it, just go and add the agent for server backup and it will take the same job. So it's pretty easy to upsell, pretty straightforward to build. Can we give separate control panel to login customers? Absolutely. The question, we have got a question which is, can we give separate control panel logins to each customer? Absolutely, yes. When you get your console, when you go and create your each customer, so let's say you have created 50 customers, each and every customer gets to access their own account, manage their backup, add agents, run reports, restore operations, all of them. And on top of that, you as a partner can actually look into all your 50 customers and manage them on behalf of them also. So you get to give the access to your customers by each customer. So this is the approach which we want you to take. So we really want you to consider this as an approach. $5.5 per laptop per month for 50 GB of backup. So let's assume that you have a customer with 50 desktops or laptops as a 50 users, and the average amount of data which each user would be having is about 50 GB. I'm just taking an average. Some users will have 200, some users will have 100. It's up to you how do you package it. But we feel that if you package it at 50 GB, the chances of you to sell it efficiently on a contractual basis is going to be easy. Please bear in mind that this is you who is selling to end customer. $5.5, 50 GB has nothing to do with the way you purchase it from Acronis and Microsoft through us. So this is a way we are trying to get in front of you that how you should be positioning it, because it's easy to sell. We want you to go and position it as per laptop backup solution, which is going to be 50 GB backup per month per laptop for $5.5. It's easy to sell. $5.5 is not a big value. It's a small value for the amount of data it is taking backup. And anything beyond 50 GB, you can charge as low as 8.5 cents, which is just $0.085 per GB per month. So that's the positioning statement. This is how you position. This is not limited to laptops. So you can go and say $10 per server per month with 100 GB backup, right? You can combine these packages the way you want it, right? The result is the following. The way you want, so before we get in the results, we want you to consider the positioning strategies here. Position to all key users when in your customer base. So if you have existing customers of 50, 100 customers database or base which you have, we want you to go back to those customers and say, you know what, I'm not trying to say that go and take backup of all your users. You start with management users, sales users, and finance users. Generally, it will become about 30-35% of your user base, which is a good point to start, because once the IT department gets the feel of it, they will naturally go and extend it to other users. Very, very natural. About 40% of users can be easily sold with this approach, saying, hey, let's cover management, let's cover sales, let's cover finance, and maybe other important departments if the customer has. Try to ensure that you're bundling it with Office 365 if you're selling Office 365 as Microsoft partner, or if you are a system integrator or a value-added resellers, bundle it with your desktop. So every desktop which you're selling or laptop which you're selling, it's pretty easy to just go and bundle it $5.5 a month. However, you are free to go and position it to the customers as an annual contract, right? So you don't need to really build a monthly basis. But the point is, package it together. So all customers, all partners who are a Microsoft Office 365 partners, we know that making margins are a little bit tough because of the way the competition is there and the services are being positioned. But when you package it along with your backup solution, like desktop backup solution, the chances of are very high that you will end up making more margin here. And we have a profitability slide here. Stay tuned. In the next few minutes, you will be able to see that. Again, easy to sell with a monthly billing model. It's up to you. You want to bill monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, or yearly. But then in tough times, if you have a customer who has a need but then doesn't have enough cash to go for an upfront or an on-premise solution, selling monthly billing makes a lot of sense here. A lot of other services you can include. One is implementation services, and the next is managed services. Now, what does this mean? It really means that somebody needs to do a good job on doing the deployment of these agents and then configuring the policies. And managed support is basically you can go and approach your client saying that, hey, we will also manage your restoration jobs. You send us a request that you have a user who wants to restore a particular folder or a file. They can open a ticket with us and we can help them. Now, I'm purely telling that this is the service you need to provide, and you can charge the customer on this. So how does your proposal should go? Of course, along with your information which you say, which you put on the proposal, this is how your investment layout should look like. A laptop backup or a server backup, the way you design, but from a laptop point of view, you have a desktop laptop backup for 50 GB per month, 100 quantities, $5.5 a month, and this is your billing price per month. It's a fixed recurring revenue which you can charge the customer irrespective of the amount of data which the customer is basically pumping out there. Implementation services, admin training, and your support services. None of these services are provided by us as Ingram or Acronis. We are just trying to give you an illustration that this is the kind of money you can actually charge your customers because it requires time and effort to deploy that solution. The point to note here is you as a partner are free to charge the customer upfront for a year, 6 months, 3 months. It's your choice, but you will be billed on a monthly basis on actual usage beyond the minimum commitment of 4 terabytes from us for Acronis and on actuals on Azure. Okay. So let's look at to profitability point of view. So your cost is basically, let's assume that you hit the mark of 4 terabytes as an example, but the proportion and ratios will remain the same if you grow the terabytes. In fact, the more terabytes you sell, it is going to be more profitable. So your cost technically at 4 terabytes would be, for Acronis, you will end up doing $250 per month for 4 terabytes, and Azure will cost you for 4 terabytes about $99 a month. So your total cost per month is about $349 for 4 terabytes. So let's see in 4 terabytes and $349 cost what you can do and what is your minimum break-even points. So your break-even, which is to reach no profit, no loss, is $352, which you can do by just getting 64 laptop or desktop contracts. Go to one of your customers, convince them to back up 64 desktops or laptops at 50 GB backup per desktop per month, and you will get to a simple break-even point of $352, which is no profit, no loss. However, in 4 terabytes, you can actually back up 82 desktops, which means if you consume and contract 4 terabytes completely, which is about 82 desktops at $5.5, you are looking at $451 per month, which is roughly around 22% margin. Now, this 22% margin is a recurring cost, which means recurring profit month over month, or you can do annual contracts and you can keep going on. So that's the profitability we are trying to show it to you, and this is how it grows, right? So simple illustration on how you should look at this business model. Let's say you did $100 laptops. You're looking at a monthly recurring revenue of $550 with a profit of $110. All the way up to 1,000 desktops. Let's say out of your entire base, you have secured 1,000 desktops backup. You are looking at a monthly recurring revenue of $5,500 with about $1,000 as a margin month over month. I'm not saying you have to getting into monthly billing from you to your customer. You can sign a contract for the whole year for a fixed capacity and you offer it as a service and charge upfront. However, in the back end, you will be billed on actuals beyond 4 terabytes by Ingram Micro for Acronis and Azure. So that's the beauty. There's a lot of buffer which you can make here. There's a lot of money which you can make here on a recurring. And the best part is this is a recurring revenue. Once you install it, the customer is going to stay with you forever. So that's the beauty of the whole solution. So what do you need to get started? Contact your Ingram Micro sales counterparts, both Acronis or Microsoft. If you do not have an account with us, open an account with us and we'll get you started. Sign up as an Acronis and a Microsoft partner if you haven't done. Get the pre-sales and pre-sales training from us. Just reach out to us and we'll be happy to train you, give you the sales partner kit, and then get to understand the order placing process, which is to how to place the order, because it is two different solutions, two different products combined into a solution. And so you need to understand how do you do that and understand the monthly billing models. So that's basically our next get started option points. All the content of this webinar is in your handout section within your webinar panel on the right side. If you look for handout, there are two presentations. We have uploaded that. We will be sending you the link. This session is recorded, so we will upload the recordings after the session. For any inquiries, you can reach out to sales at ingrammicrocloud.me, and you can contact us for this. So we are open for questions, and while we are doing question answers, I'm going to run some poll questions, which I will appreciate if you guys can answer us. It will be helpful. So the poll should be in front of you. And we are open for questions. Please feel free to ask any questions. All right, as everybody can see the poll results, the question was, do you sell backup solutions to your customers? 94% of you said yes, which is a simple sign that you're selling backup. Backup is in demand, and the solution is something which can be sold very easily. So I'm going to keep running these poll questions just for more information. I'm going to share these results back to back. All right, this poll shows that about a good percentage of customers of your existing base are proactively asking for cloud-based backup solution, and another 70% of your customers, the response was that only few customers. But the point is, we still have a chunk of customers asking for cloud-based backup, and here is the solution which we just discussed today. So a quick question on your partnership level, if you guys can just share that response. Right. Most of you are Microsoft partner, which means for you, you don't need to do anything more for getting started on Azure on a monthly basis. Reach out to our sales team. They'll be able to explain you a little bit more. For all those partners who are not yet Microsoft partners, we can help you getting started on that and take you to the next level for Microsoft. A quick question on Acronis partnership. All right, we have a lot of work to do. There's about 70% of audience are not a Acronis partner, so we will reach out to all of you who are not yet the partners, and we'll help you on board, provide you the consoles so that you guys can get started on that. So last two questions on the poll. There's a question, what is the use of Azure storage if we are buying Acronis Cloud Backup solution? So Acronis, in this solution which we just presented, Acronis is basically the management software and the agents which is going into desktops and laptops and the servers, and you still need to store it on some place, right? And that place is Azure on the cloud. So the target destination for the storage is going to be Azure storage, which is the blob storage, and we mentioned the price there. And Acronis is really the software which is actually taking the backup, running the policies, and managing the whole thing, and putting the target as a destination as Azure. All right. Most of you have agreed that approaching customers for desktops would make it easy, but it is not the only way to do it. If you think that there is a burning need of cloud-based backup for server environment, feel free to go and position. Both the ways are fine. The idea is the same solution can work for desktops as well as server environment. So that's the whole point about it. And the last question. All right, pretty mixed reaction on the $5.5 approach, but I think most of you are saying maybe, and it is true. I completely agree with all of you. It is maybe because it is possible that it will take a hit, it will not be accepted, but then it's an idea for us from our side to go and approach for it. So feel free to go and approach it. And if you think you want to increase the price, you want to decrease the price, the point is, with that approach, the reference point was 22% of margin which you can make at that price point. So if you want to increase the margin, you can. If you want to decrease it, it's your choice, but this is the way to sell. Some of you said yes, some of you said no. It's really, the choice is yours. We want to really give you a simple reference point to get started with, and you can build your own solution. You can package your solutions the way you want it. All right, there is one more question. If the customer already has a storage of their own, and then only Acronis Cloud Backup upsell, is it okay? So with this cloud-based backup service of Acronis, does that mean that customer can use their own storage, or the answer is yes to you, that if the customer already has their own storage, they can back up locally and onto the cloud with this model. So the cloud is something which they can consider. The software will be able to fire a copy of that to cloud as well as their local storage. The answer is yes, you can. If the customer has an existing storage, they can utilize that for the backup with just the Acronis. Yes, Azure can be an optional. So the question is, if that is the case, if the customer has and decided to back up on their own storage, they don't need to purchase Azure. You're right, they don't need to purchase Azure. But then if the solution and approach is to back up everything on cloud, then Azure can come on the forefront. All right. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, it was an interactive session, and I really apologize for any disruptions in the audio services today. but we will share out all these details to all of you. The recordings will be sent out to everybody. For all those partners who are not yet Acronis partners, we'll reach out to them so that we can help them on board. But if you are interested in, you think that there are existing prospects and customers who can be approached immediately, please reach out to us and we'll be very happy to help you on solutioning, technical demos, POCs, and get the solution going on for you on the cloud-based backup solution. Thank you.